There's a lot of lonely men in the world, and I'm gonna change that right now by revealing the secret technique that's 100% guaranteed to get you an intimate relationship immediately. You will be irresistible to women. Is your game weak? Is your riz falling on deaf ears? Well, that's a thing of the past, Buster. Throw out everything you thought you knew about romance. I'm overwriting it right now with this cheat code with women.
You can talk to a woman for 5-10 hours, you can talk about any goddamn thing, nothing's going to change unless your intention is there. And that's one of the things that most people miss is the intention. So what I mean that is if you're talking to a woman and you're like, oh, what's her name? And you're not looking at her, you're not giving her that intention that I want to fuck you, then it's just a normal conversation between two people. It's like when you go for a job interview, somebody asks you 500 questions, you don't get turned on, you don't go home and masturbate like, oh my god, somebody asked me 50 questions, so I need to,
It truly is just that simple. The solution was right under our nose the entire time, staring us in the face. Have any of you ever tried going up to a stranger saying, salutations, I'd like to fuck you, to see where it gets you? Because I'll tell you where it gets you. In bed with them. Or in jail behind bars. But sometimes, that's a risk you gotta be willing to take. You all know how much I love pickup artist content. I stumbled upon this earlier today and it had a huge smile on my face. They talk about like having a conversation with a woman like it's the worst thing in the world. Like if you haven't made your intentions clear about just wanting to fuck, then all you're doing is engaging in a conversation with a girl. Ew. Yuck. It's of paramount importance to spit it right in her face that you are there to fuck. That is your intention and you need to make it clear in no uncertain terms. Otherwise, it's just like a job interview, and you don't go to a job interview and then go home and masturbate because you got asked a bunch of questions. No. Patooey.
That's what it is. We're trying to differentiate from that. We don't want this to be just another platonic conversation where two people talk for 20 minutes but nobody feels turned on or nobody feels attraction for the other person. And the only time that will change is if your intention is communicated to them. Now, some people...
You want to know the quickest way to ensure that the conversation ends on the spot with no attraction? Try just saying, I wanna fuck you, to a complete stranger. You're either getting maced, slapped, or the cops are getting called on you instantly. Like, they'll throw your ass out of the bar like it's a Looney Tunes cartoon where they literally kick you out and you just, like, skid across the ground with your fucking ass in the air. It is the worst possible approach to just go up to someone and say that. Greetings. Sex? Maybe? Pickup artists are always so interesting to me, because it seems like you can just say the most nonsensical shit ever, and dudes will buy into it and pay you for the privilege of hearing the worst advice ever that will probably land them on a watch list somewhere. Like, I bet I could convince dudes that a good pickup approach is to go up to a woman and say something like, hey, I'm not weird, and I'll prove it. I got your nose, and you reach out and do this with your hand. And then it'll pique her curiosity, because the female mind is always, very inquisitive. She'll ask, what are you doing with my nose? And that's when you say, I'll give it back if we have sex. I guarantee someone would think that's a good idea. It's so sad how easy it is to take advantage of gullible, desperate men. You don't even need to look like an alpha male Chad Thundercock. Like, we just looked at the Reddit mod pickup artist who's giving lessons on TikTok for like $3,000 seminars, and that guy is legitimately a Discord moderator, and he looks like it too. You can smell him through the screen, and yet he has clients paying him money for the worst advice ever. One of his cursed techniques that he tried to convey was that you put on a glove and then put your finger inside of her and start raking. And people were like, genius! That's the one, that's why I'm not getting any girls. I haven't tried that. I'm gonna start putting gloves on to meet them. It's just pure lunacy and degeneracy now. If you really wanted to get laid, all you have to do is start drinking Gamersups and using code MOIST at gamersups.gg. The flavors are so good, it's going to make you more confident, more attractive, and just legitimately a better man that women are going to fall in love with. My favorite flavor from Gamersups right now is lean. It was titty milk for the longest time, but recently I've been converted to the lean house of discipline here. That flavor goes insano style. I really like it a lot. So yeah, code MOIST at gamersups.gg. Check it out.
In my mind, makes all the difference is one, you need to be dominating. Second, you need to be invading their space. But this is the problem. Most people will not let you invade their space unless they're comfortable with you. So your goal is to continue to invade their space in a manner that's okay for them. So for instance, if I just come here and do this, you'll be like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
He treats conversations with women like it's a game of Civilization 5 where he's just trying to keep taking away parts of their space. It's so weird to see people think this way. Your goal when talking to a woman is to constantly be trying to figure out how to make her just comfortable enough where I can go in there and start honking on her titties. And I love that his optimal method for reaching that level of comfortability is to just say he wants to fuck. Like, I can already picture this, just screaming from across the bar, "Excuse me, m'lady! I am approaching you with sexual intent. The following conversation is designed to end with my wiener in your mouth. Now may I invade your personal space? Hey, it's good to see you."
And then say. So for instance, if I want to ask her name, I could ask her name, "What's your name?" Okay, it's not sexual at all. But now if I say, "I want to fuck you, what's your name?" All of a sudden my tonality changes, all of a sudden the way I make eye contact changes. So,
and all of a sudden her level of panic and fear changes, where now she's in fight or flight mode because you are a creep. You are a weirdo who is scaring whoever you do this to. "I want to fuck. What's your name?" It's almost like the rock bottom scene in SpongeBob. I can't understand your accent. But in this case, instead of the it's, "I want to fuck you. What's your name? I want to fuck you. Where'd you come from? I want to fuck you. What do I have to do to fuck you?"
I'll do that again on the camera so they can see my expressions. If I just say, "What's your name?" there is nothing that subcommunicates that I'm attracted to you. But if I say, "I really want to fuck you, what's your name?" all of a sudden my facial expressions changes, my tonality changes.
And I'm running the other way. Doing it right at the camera, you could really feel just how awful this would be to experience. Just having this complete stranger come up to you and say, "I want to fuck you, what's your name?" Like, that's alarming. Pretty much everyone is on edge after that. If anyone even hears you do that, they're looking over their shoulder and getting ready to call for some help. That's like yelling bomb in an airport. Just coming up to someone saying, "I want to fuck you, what's your name?" Everyone's weirded out by that. I have to imagine this guy has never actually done that in his life. Maybe he just hates the students that sign up for his class, so he's trying his best to ruin their life, because that is horrible, horrible advice.
And that subcommunicates the whole sexual energy, the sexual tone, and the brain starts to process there is something more going on than somebody just asking my name.
Brother, you don't have to vocalize every thought and intention during a conversation. I'm sure if you're only there for sex, that intention will be communicated through the way that you talk to the person. You don't have to just shout it, "I just want sex." What's your name?
You know, and that's why when you're talking to them, instead of just having that conversation, "Oh, where are you from? Oh, that's cool. What do you do? Oh, that's cool." It should be almost be like, "Where are you from? You know, I want to have sex with you. Where are you from? You know, I want to take you home. Tell me more about you. You know, I want to fuck you right now. What flight did you take from Denver to coming here?"
What flight did you take from Denver to come here? Did you take the Cock Meat Express? Because I can give you a ride on that one as well for the departing flight. We've got plenty of time. He prefaces each question he asks a woman with, "I want to have sex with you. Where are you from? Hey, I want to get you back to my place so we can steam ham." You a dog or cat person? "Look, I want to mash pissers and nothing else. I just want to fuck you." So what kind of food do you like to eat? What's your favorite movie?
And that will, you know, right now, even though I'm speaking very fast, it's not coming out right, but that intention is what's going to make them feel, okay, this is not just some guy interviewing me. He has an intention, he has an agenda, and that intention has to be conveyed to them.
I'm pretty sure that's like the last possible intention you'd ever want to convey to someone, that you just want to fuck them by any means necessary. That's scary. That is creepy. Weird. I don't think that's a positive thing that he's trying to portray it as. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is extremely effective. I doubt it, but I guess it could be. He is the expert after all. But I had to share this. This had me giggling just at the thought of going up to strangers and starting the conversations like this. So I had to share it with all of you. That's really about it. So yeah. Good morning, everyone. I hope the holiday season has been kind to you. As we approach the new year, I wanted to bestow upon you some sage wisdom. As we get into 2024, I imagine many of you are going to choose a New Year's resolution to be more confident, and I just wanted to show you what it looks like when you go a little too hog wild and immediately blow it and pretty much fail the New Year's resolution before it even begins. This exchange was shared today. The two people here have met a few times and there was nothing odd about any of it. Now, out of the blue, this guy says, "Can I say something weird?" and then sends that face. When that face hits the text messages, you know shit is about to go downhill immediately. Nothing good ever comes from seeing that face. It's like Bloody Mary in the mirror. But she says, of course, with an exclamation point, almost excited to hear what weird thing he's about to explain. So he goes, He starts charging up his Kamehameha here. He's about to drop a fucking nuclear bomb on this conversation and this friendship. So here it comes. Happy New Year. I just saw a post celebrating fat beauty, and you were the fat beauty closest to the top of my contacts, and then drops this hot emoji here. So I just wanted to check in and say hi. And they say chivalry's dead. If that line doesn't get you laid, nothing will. Flirting has never looked so good. So how did she respond to this silver-tongued devil? Holy fucking hell. We'll just casually act like you didn't just say that. And he's dumbfounded. He can't process what went wrong here. He goes, I understand how that was the wrong thing for me to say. Actually, I don't. Please explain how I can prevent making someone uncomfortable in the future. It's like an exit survey after customer service experience. What did you appreciate and what did you not appreciate? How can we improve in the future? I have no doubt this was the last thing she was expecting after saying that she'd like to hear something weird. But anyway, I'll go ahead and break it down for you, brother, on where this bulletproof strategy went awry. Let me give you like a counterexample maybe to help illustrate the point. Let's say there was someone I was talking to that I was somewhat romantically interested in, and I opened this conversation by saying, hey, so I just read this post about stupid bitches, so naturally I thought of you. How are you? It wouldn't exactly go over well now, would it? So you coming out of the blue, guns blazing, calling her fat, is not exactly the compliment that you may have thought it was. But anyway, there is another series of text messages I wanted to talk about because it had me giggling this morning. There was an individual giving away 100 articles of clothing, and somebody wanted to come claim them. But things really took a turn for the worst. It starts innocent enough. Are the clothes available? To which they say, yes, please God, take them. Very clearly wanting to get rid of all of these clothes. And then they ask for the location. After receiving the coordinates to the rendezvous, they ask, can you meet me in blank? So meeting at a different location that's a little closer to them. To which they understandably say, no, I'm not meeting for free stuff. And then say, I can gove you $10 to brung them, okay? And they just say no again. It's an almost adorable sentence. I can gove you $10 to brung them. It's like baby talk in text message format. It reminds me of the dialogue in the game Bugsnax. Now, this individual clearly does not want to drive out of their way to deliver free stuff to this person, not even for $10, because that's a wild inconvenience to them. They're giving away the free stuff. If you want it, it should be on you to come get it. Like, it's not their responsibility to drive an hour out of their way to deliver it to this stranger. Jesus, thanks. Keep them then. I have a newborn Jesus, which is a huge statement to make. We've got Jesus Christ coming back for round 3, I guess, because she just gave birth to him. I don't have time to waste it. Do you want them gone or not? I don't know why she's trying to flip this around and haggle with this individual who's trying to give away the free clothing. Like, obviously, they want them gone, but they're not going to drive an hour out of their way to get rid of them. It's not that big of a deal. Whoever wants them can come get them, and if no one comes and gets them, I'm sure they would have no problem just donating them to, like, Goodwill or something. This lady has no leverage in this negotiation here whatsoever. So do you want them gone or not? Your only option is to bring them an hour over here to me. Like, no, clearly, that's not the only choice to be making here. That's the bad ending. That's like the stupid ending. If you do that, you have done a big fucking blunder. They say, I do, but I'm not driving an hour round trip. If you want them, you'll get them. If not, someone else will. The brass tacks, the cold hard facts, the cold water. That is the truth right there. If you want them, come get them. If you don't, someone else will. They then ask for the address and then say, it's not that far from blank, and blank is 10 to 15 minutes from blank. Everything's redacted here like a CIA document, so it's a little hard to keep up with. But they're still trying to find a way for them to bring the clothes closer to them so it's more convenient for them to pick up the free shit. They say, I live closer to blank, so 50 minutes, so yeah, you could meet me to blank. That would help us both. Thanks if you would be nice. And they just, again, say no. This sets her off, and she goes, bitch, have a good day. I have kids, me and I live further than you, and I was ready to pay, have a good day. To which they say, I have kids too, doesn't make you special. I asked because everything expensive, I would drive down me for someone, obviously English people are actually asshole. Anyway, I wouldn't be like you, me. I would do halfway for someone that's need it. Obviously, you have money, so you don't give a shit about any but yourself. You were rude. That's also what I didn't like. Instead of figuring something out for both of us as well, so you're mama person, not me. I'm not sure what that word is because it's blocked by the arrow. One of the most difficult to read statements I've ever read since trying to read Finnegan's Wake. I recognize English may not be her first language here, but goodness gracious, that was a lot to try and get a grasp on here. So I believe what she's trying to say is that if the roles were reversed and she was the one giving away free clothes, she would have no problem driving an hour out of her way to give them to someone. Which is a load of dirty barnacles. What a fucking load of fish paste. What are you talking about? You won't even drive over here and get the free clothes that she's offering. You're making a big stink about it. So how the fuck am I supposed to believe that you would drive an hour out of your way to bring someone else free clothes when you won't even go here to get them without making a huge deal out of trying to get her to come to you instead? What a ridiculous statement. What an outright fucking lie. You're telling a fib. And liars or go to hell because it's a sin. She also wasn't rude, by the way. She's giving away free clothes and you're trying to take advantage of her kindness and try and push her to do even more for you, for your own convenience. You are the rude asshole, not the person giving away the free clothes. I know things are expensive, that's why I'm giving these away, but I'm not spending time driving to meet someone just to give them away. Like, would you? I would have paid with the only little money I have, so thanks. Yes, I would. Thanks. Go to church. What are you talking about? She's not asking for money and she doesn't need you to gove her $10 to brung them. Like that, just go get the clothes. She is already giving these things away for free. Just go get them instead of trying to shame her for not driving an hour out of her way for a fucking stranger who's too lazy to go do it herself. Like that is entirely a you problem, not her. And I don't know why you're trying to tell her to go to church. Why don't you go to church, plant your ass in one of the pews and pray for forgiveness for one of the 7 deadly sins of sloth, because you're so fucking lazy that you won't go do the bare minimum and instead start being an asshole to this person who's just giving away free clothes. The conversation concludes with, I definitely do not have money, what an assumption, go to hell. And she goes, great, exactly, shouldn't say that word. What are you talking about? You literally called her a bitch like 3 messages ago. What, saying bitch is okay but not hell? HE double hockey sticks is too far? What is going on? How can you be such a miserable piece of shit? Like, this person is already giving away free clothes. And instead of going to get them and saying thank you, you try and shame them into driving an hour out of their way for your own convenience. How can you be so selfish? The entitlement here is absolutely incomprehensible. I just had to talk about it. This one had me giggling, but also fuming a little bit. Just trying to understand how people like this exist. This is free items that you are making a huge problem out of because they won't drive an hour out of their way for you for it. It's so crazy to me. But anyway, yeah, I just want to talk about these a little bit. That's it. See ya. I know my calm, composed, stoic demeanor may not give you any clues or hints at my internal struggle, but trust me. Right now, I'm spiraling. I'm falling down a dark path I swore I'd never walk again. Like a former addict who finds the pipe once again, I have found my long since abandoned drug. I have become hooked on reading horrible text messages from dudes trying to get laid again. It's been many moons, and some of you who have been around the channel for a while may remember I've made a lot of content covering horrible pickup artists, as well as horrible text messages with self-proclaimed nice guys who are one gentle no away from letting the demon out and just flipping the switch to a full-blown conniption. Like, the word boyfriend would be, a Winter Soldier event that would have them just go ballistic. And I've made quite a bit of content, both laughing at the absurdity of it, as well as using it as an educational tool, like, hey, don't be like these goobers. But over time, I started kind of petering out from doing that because I just made so much of it, and I stopped indulging in that kind of content until recently. I could only fight the urge for so long. The werewolf is coming out, it's a full moon, and that moon is nothing but fucking cringe. I saw some text messages today that I've just gotta go over. Now, before we embark on this journey together, it's important that I let you know that these are 2 college students. As we go through this, you'll probably assume that it's two 13-year-olds, but that's not the case. These are two college students that worked on a group project together, and now we're coming in after the completion of the project. So, they say, I just emailed Professor the final draft, so we should be good. To which the poster says, yay, and then sends a meme, go team. I really enjoyed working with you. You seem like a very sweet and smart girl, and I'd love to take you out sometime. To which they say, that's very kind of you, but I have a boyfriend. Oh boy. She said the phrase, I have a boyfriend. There is no phrase more powerful in the English language than that. The strongest sentence ever constructed. That's like the nuclear bomb here. I have a boyfriend is a phrase, nay, an incantation, more powerful than Avada Kedavra from Harry Potter. And it's just been deployed. So you can already start to speculate where things are going to go south. He responds by saying, heh, well thanks for leading me on. Which catches her off guard. She says, I'm sorry, but I don't think I've done anything to imply I was interested in dating you. To which he responds, it's just funny how you never brought up that you were taken until now. Which is an interesting thing to respond with, because that makes it seem like he expects every girl that's taken to immediately state that upon starting a conversation with a man. Like they need to wear some kind of sign or some kind of label on their forehead that says, currently in relationship, not available, thank you. Try again at later date. Although she does say that she mentioned her boyfriend. Actually, I did. When I was at your house, I told you my boyfriend was picking me up. Which he's able to counter beautifully by saying, I thought you meant a boy that you were friends with. Because why would you go over to a guy's house if you're dating someone? And she says, because you offered to host and we needed somewhere to work on our project together, my boyfriend knew and didn't care because all we were doing was working. I'm sorry if I did anything to give you the wrong idea. And then he says, you let me buy you a pizza. Now, admittedly, I understand where the guy's coming from here. We all know about the law of equivalent exchange thanks to Full Metal Alchemist, and we have something like that in the real world. If you buy a girl a pizza, she is obligated to have sex with you. It's the pussy for pizza transaction. It's as old as time itself. So the fact that he was able to buy her a pizza and he didn't get his winky stinky is shocking. But yeah, anyway, he seems to really put a lot of stock in the importance of that pizza. Like that was going to carry them all the way to marriage. Like this is a moment she'd remember for the rest of her life or something, that pizza that he bought her. But I'd like to backtrack a bit just briefly. Let's go to the previous chapter where he said, I thought you meant a boy you were friends with, because why would your boyfriend be okay with you going to a guy's house to work on a project? And I feel like that's a dog shit perspective that's not unique to just this guy in this situation. I've seen a lot right now where people work under the assumption that if your significant other is doing anything in any capacity with someone of the opposite sex, it means that they're unfaithful to you and they're cheating. But I just don't really subscribe to the belief that most normal, sane people think that way. Of course, there are extenuating circumstances to that, but in this scenario, and in most scenarios like this, where it's just she's working on a group project with a classmate, I don't know why you'd immediately jump to, she must be a whore who's going behind my back to fuck this one goofball in her class and pretending that they're working on a group project. I just don't think that's something most ordinary people jump to immediately, and in this case, the guy views it as weird that she ever even agreed to go to his house to work on this group project if she was in a relationship, but I just don't understand why that would be viewed as weird. Like, where else are they going to do it? Like, if they go to her place and do it, it's the same problem, right? Now, she has invited a guy over to her house and she's in a relationship to work on this group project. Wouldn't that be the same issue? Or if they go somewhere in public and do it, like a fucking Starbucks or whatever, it's still the same issue. Like, oh, now they went to a public place where people go, like, on dates sometimes to do this group project. So you can always make that argument no matter what. So just, I don't know, it just doesn't compute with me. But anyway, back to the pizza. I offered to split when you told me you were ordering a pizza and you said it was your treat. If you'd like, I can sell you for half of the cost. Yes, I'd like that. And you ate more of the pizza than I did, so you should pay for like 2/3 of it. Now we're getting into the nitty-gritty math calculations here. Like, well, actually, listen here, Harpy. You ate more of the pie than I did, so you're gonna need to reimburse me more for it. And you know what? It wasn't my treat, because this Halloween there was only tricks. You tricked me. You lied by not telling me that you had a boyfriend. So give me extra cash for that pizza, you disgraceful harlot. She's being as gentle as possible here. I imagine she's scared of this individual, and she said as much in the comments of the post. She said that she didn't want to, like, get too aggressive back because then she'd be, like, afraid of what he might do. So it's just, Like, I understand where she's coming from. You don't want to, poke and all of that. So she's just like, okay, that's fine. And I'm sorry again if you got the wrong idea, but I thought I made it clear that I viewed this as a professional relationship. Well, you didn't. And then he comes back and says, don't leave me on red. So he's getting very aggressive here. He's red in the face. He's steam coming out of the ears. Like, I understand why she wants to, like, tiptoe around this as gracefully and smoothly as possible. And it's something I've said a lot on stream, where in the current climate of things, it feels like everyone's more on edge than ever. Like, I've read so many stories over the last couple of years of people snapping at the smallest things, like even the most minor inconvenience. Like, this is a story I've referenced a lot, but it's one that actually legitimately sticks with me. There was a murder at a Subway where a man shot 2 Subway workers because they went a little heavy on the mayonnaise on his sandwich. Too much mayo was a death sentence for one of the 2 workers that was shot. The other one did survive, but I mean, it's things like that where it's never really worth pushing back. So in a case like this, I understand why she'd want to be really light about it. And I just want to mention that because I saw a lot of comments, like, not really grilling her or anything, but just really kind of wondering why she was being so polite in lieu of all of the aggression from this guy. And I totally understand why she would be. I really do get it. I just wanted to point that out real quick. But anyway, it wraps up by saying, I don't think this conversation is worth furthering, which is fair. And then he responds saying, it's ridiculous you even chose a guy to work with if you have a man. I bet he was upset even if he pretended not to be. Now, she explained this a little further in the comments. She didn't even choose him to be like her group project partner. Apparently the way the groups were chosen were people chose topics and whoever had similar topics worked together. So these 2 just happen to have the same topics. It's not like she went out of her way to choose this, benevolent angel to work with or anything. But anyway, I understand this was like a very short text exchange. It's only like 3 screenshots here, but I just think there's a whole lot to digest and analyze here. As we as a species have become more and more isolated, all of our socialization and human interaction comes from behind a computer screen now, mostly. Almost all of our interaction with each other is through the internet. So it's leading to a lot of people not knowing how to socialize or not knowing how to pick up on like social cues, and I don't even really blame individuals for that. But it's led to situations kind of like this, where this guy really views that her being off the market, having a boyfriend, should mean that she shouldn't do anything at all with another guy, even work on a class project with another man. And also, something as simple as buying a pizza shows some kind of romantic interest between the 2 of them, some kind of mutual romance. So when it turns out that she wasn't interested and it leads to a rejection, it's something that he doesn't know how to handle appropriately. And overall, it is just pretty sad. Yes, it is like equal parts entertaining with some cringe text messages, of course, but at the core of it, there is a problem where people aren't going out in the real world and making genuine human connections. It's all through computers. So when you are in the real world with real humans, you don't really know how to handle things super well. So something as simple as getting like a rejection is a much bigger deal than it used to be. And overall, like I said, it's just kind of sad. I wanted to just talk about these text messages because I got real deep on why. Why would this be the response to something so simple? And of course, the text messages are very silly, like with the whole fucking pizza side quest thing. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. That's it. So yeah. Today I watched a video that was physically painful for me to sit through, which is pretty uncharacteristic because I'm not really the kind of guy to cringe at anything or find it hard to finish a video. I've never failed a try not to cringe challenge or anything like that. I'm the kind of guy that could watch 2 Girls, 1 Cup while eating chocolate ice cream and not feel a thing. But I saw a video today that was just hard for me to watch because it reminded me so much of me. A while ago, I made this video telling an embarrassing story from my life where I hyped myself up in the mirror for days leading up to this climax where I would go to Gamestop and tell the girl that worked there she was beautiful, and then I finally did it. I panicked and ran away from her, just sprinted out of there as if the building was on fire. It was basically a ding-dong ditch with a fucking creepy compliment attached to it. To this day, I'm still shocked she didn't report me to authorities, just call the police as I was running away. I wouldn't have been surprised to see a police sketch of my face posted on all the wanted posters or something looking for the creepy GameStop guy. But anyway, this is relevant because the video I want to share with you today, it's a video of a guy who did almost exactly what I did, but without running away. And my god, it's bad. It proved to me that I made the right call sprinting out of there that day, because it could have been much worse. It could have been as bad as what you're about to see here. It's very clear that under no circumstances does this ever really work because real life is just not like anime.
What? No.
Graduated?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're in college?
Mm-hmm.
Where?
Kent.
Okay. That's around this time.
Yeah, it's about 40 minutes.
This guy's smooth, the small talk is going well, you can see that she's really engaged in the conversation and enjoying every second of it. This is, I think what the pickup artist community calls the Shogun method. It's like a forbidden jutsu because it's deemed too powerful. It makes women just want you all the time and you drown in sodden panties. So the Shogun method is just outlawed in most countries for being just too strong. But this guy, he's breaking all the rules. He's busting out the Shogun method right here, right now, and you can really see just how effective it is.
How old are you?
19. I think you got it. Yep.
What city is Kent in?
Kent.
I really do wonder how long he'd been here trying to flirt like this for, because she stopped and started the recording multiple times and he was still going. She also started this video like in the middle of a conversation that he was trying to start. So I have to imagine it'd been like 10 minutes of him just unsuccessfully fucking diarrheaing out bad small talk. Like, I don't know why he'd continue when it's very clear she's not interested. She's giving one-word answers. Yeah, no, Kent. And he's like, yes, fuck, nice, jackpot, bang.
There's a city called Kent and the college is called Kent.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like East Cleveland?
No, it's Kent, Ohio.
So it's not even part of Cleveland?
No.
It's part of Northeast Ohio?
I guess.
I'm gonna take this.
Okay.
My country.
My man's been stun-locked by Kent. He's on like a whole side quest with the Kent lore here, and it's not really doing him any favors. And then he gets a little quirky and takes money out of their tip jar, I guess. I don't really know what that is about, but, you know, all power to him. You know, if I can't get this girl's number, I might as well take the money from the tips over here, so that she'll remember me then as a bad boy.
321.
Can I pay with this? And you're, oh shit, it's already in there. Is both these mine?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, You wanna know my thing?
I'm good.
Damn. Shucks, I can't believe that one didn't work. You know, they say chivalry's dead, but come on, this guy's doing his best, offering to give away his PIN number to her. I mean, that's sweet. There's no doubt in my mind this guy doesn't give a fuck about stickers. He came in here because he must have seen her when he was walking by. I think this is a hot topic, I'm not sure. And he's like, oh my god, I've got to go in and at least try. So he just sat there for a little bit, and he's like, I can do this, I can fucking do this. He went in there, panicked, and grabbed a handful of fucking Adventure Time stickers or something. He's like, oh my god, shit, I have to commit to this. Maybe that's what ruined his chances. She thought less of him because he was buying stickers. He should have just done the Always Sunny in Philadelphia method. Should have just went in there and just, hey, where do you keep your Magnum condoms for my Magnum dong? Also, what's the deal with Kent? You know, he really likes Kent, I guess, because he's treated this lady like she's the goddamn tour guide for Kent. So, I mean, I feel like there might have been a better play if he had only just grabbed the better item. Because there's no doubt in my mind he is not here actually shopping for stickers. He just happened to pick those up because he needed some excuse to be at the cash register.
Do you want your receipt?
How about that?
Alright, you're all set.
Am I though?
Yep.
Are you sure about that? Do you have Instagram?
No.
You're too cool for Instagram?
I don't like social media.
Why not?
Perpetuate some bad vibes from people.
You're cute.
Thanks.
I didn't even know it was this possible to look so uninterested and uncomfortable in a social situation. She is like actually collapsing into herself from the fucking cringe of this guy right now. It's unbearable even from an outside perspective. I can only imagine how awful it must have been to like literally be there. I bet other shoppers in the store, if there are any, also haven't forgotten this day if they overheard this conversation or saw this from a distance, because my god. So this is when he finally drops the "you're cute" line, which in my case was beautiful. Mine was a little better, I'd say. And then he didn't run away. He sat there and just fucking waited for a long time. He should have just ran away, honestly. Like, he should have taken a page out of my playbook from my embarrassing fucking history of trying to talk to girls, because it would have saved him at least a little bit more embarrassment.
What heck you said?
No,
You ever go to the beach?
not really.
Or Lake Erie? On a boat?
It's not really a beach, is it? It's a lake.
You can start to feel the desperation setting in as he knows that he needs to get out of the store quickly before security gets called, so he just starts talking about items he sees around the store like a game of I Spy. The hacky sack. You like hacky sack? Fucking feet? Do you like feet? I'm wearing shoes. Do you like my shoes? You can really see that he's trying his best, but knows that, the clock's kind of running out here. It ends kind of in a bit of a cliffhanger because you can hear him sigh, so you know he's still there. And I have to imagine that he probably just walked away after this because there's no follow-up or anything. So hopefully that's like the happy ending here. She didn't have to continue being bothered. And hopefully he learns a valuable lesson. I know I did when I did something similar. So I can only pray that he also learned the same lesson. Just don't really bother people while they're trying to work. You're not the main character in the world, so stop acting like it. Anyway, that's really about it. See ya. About 4 or 5 months ago, there was a TikTok account that I was made aware of. I won't say the name of it, nor will I say the name of the channel that I'm about to talk about here. And as always, please don't go and harass this person. But the TikTok account, it was basically one guy going into these pseudo-intellectual takes trying to break down why women are the way they are, implying that they're stupid and built differently, making them inferior to men, saying things like they can't get close to God like men can, and that they can't be trusted. Just horrible shit. He'd also imply that they only care about big dick and a lot of dick. And the only way to get laid is by having a huge sledgehammer penis. Science confirmed it. It's just really alarmingly terrible shit. And over time it became more and more clear that this guy just doesn't like women. He seems to just hate women. Just really awful shit. He eventually got banned for it, luckily. But now he's taken that filth and put it on YouTube. And I just wanted to share a little bit of it with you. So this is a video of his called "Women Are Not Real." And I don't like to use this word, but this is the epitome of incel shit.
Women are the physical manifestation of sensory perception. And in the same sense that when your senses are overloaded in any particular way, whether they're overloaded with pleasure or overloaded with pain, if your senses keep receiving that same stimulus over and over, you are not going to have as strong of a reaction to that same stimulus.
None of that meant anything. Everything he said there had actual no meaning behind it. It's just a lot of fucking nothing. You just took a bite out of a nothing burger that this guy fed you out of his ass. He so desperately wants to sound smart and it's just not working. I also can't tell if he's 15 or in his 20s. It's impossible to know for sure, but it looks like he's still going through puberty.
In this same sense, being that women are the physical manifestations of this phenomenon, that is why women's value must be preserved. They can't be trusted to handle anything of greater responsibility, anything of greater importance than daily household chores and taking care of babies. Not taking care of children, taking care of babies.
Well, that sounds a bit alarming, a bit of a red flag, but who am I to question the expert? Just look at the amount of books he has on his shelves. This guy's clearly a genius. He also even has some cursed ancient Egyptian relics back there for some reason, like the fucking Millennium Puzzle or something. So, I mean, he must know what he's talking about. He seems very, very knowledgeable. When I first heard this, I was convinced it had to be a troll, but the more and more I look into this guy, the more clear it becomes that this guy has just actually been indoctrinated into the incel shit. He comes out right away and just says the only thing women can handle is household chores and babies. Holy shit.
Because once babies turn into children, that's when the psychological development comes into place, which far exceeds the capabilities that women are able to provide for the child. But going back to the value preservation, women's value has to be preserved while a man's value has to be created. Women are born with inherent value, men are born with no value, or next to no value.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, men really got the short end of the stick. We have no value compared to women. Who the fuck hurt this guy? I find it hard to believe he's ever talked to a woman, so I don't think he has like a real world experience getting like his heart broken or something, causing this kind of monster he's become. I really think he's probably just been terminally online and then just started adopting the incel beliefs.
The reason a woman has inherent value is because her value is based on her fertility. To put it bluntly, that's what it's based on. Women's value is based on their fertility. That's why it's in the best interest of a woman not to waste her inherent value and try to lock down a high value man, or a man who looks like he's on his way to becoming high value, as soon as she can.
That's right, ladies. Time is running out. You're missing your chance with this high value alpha male. Like, what are you waiting for? Your ovaries are drying up. Your pussy, it's gonna turn to dust unless you let this guy put his dick in it. So, you're fucking up. You're losing a high value male by waiting around. Come on, he's just right around the corner over there.
But like I said, the more experiences, whether positive or negative, that a woman goes through decreases her value, because women cannot handle the stresses or the pleasures of life.
Yeah, ladies, you're supposed to stay locked in a fucking isolation chamber, a sensory deprivation tank, and wait for this fucking angel to grace you with his huge wiener. Alright? The more times you're having fun, the more times that you're maybe being sad, the less valuable you are. So stop having experiences, okay? Just exist in a fucking ball and wait for this man to ride in on his white stallion with a chariot and his dick and balls out and take you off your feet. So that way he can breed. God damn it, stop being so selfish and having experiences, you harpies. I'm obviously cutting some parts of this video out because he just drones on and on and on and on. So I'm trying to just get all of his main points here, and my god is it absolute lunacy.
The more stress she goes through, the more she sees the world as nothing more than a negative place. And I've mentioned this in a previous video, but it's because women are not able to connect with God in the same way that men are. Women are not able to renew themselves mentally. They see everything on earth through the lens of the material.
What in tarnation? I must have missed that lesson in Sunday school, but he's blown the case wide open. Apparently women just can't connect to God the same way men can. And if you can't have a good connection to God like this guy does, I mean, you're fucked. What's the point? You don't have any value. Over and over and over again, this guy harps on the belief that he thinks women are too stupid to handle anything. He doesn't even view them as humans, it sounds like. He literally views them as like machines to pump out babies. All he says is that women aren't capable of handling experiences. That's like his main point right now. They don't have the same mental fortitude that men do, nor do they have the same connection to God that men have. Like, what the fuck is even wrong with you to think that for a second?
They see everything on earth through the lens of sensory perception. If something doesn't excite them enough, then it's not a good thing. If something stresses them out too much, then it's also not a good thing. Everything has to be new, everything has to be fresh, everything has to be exciting all the time, 100% of the time, otherwise it's bad. That's how women see the world. They don't have an accurate lens of reality through which they see the world. They just don't see reality.
Oh, but this guy sees reality. Yeah, this guy's really grounded in reality. This guy is so perceptive to reality. He's like Doctor Strange. He can see every possible reality in the known multiverse. Oh my god. And then he talks about women like they're all exactly the same, just fucking clones of each other. He can't even wrap his head around the idea that people are different and not just what he reads about on these weird fucking subreddits.
They interpret the quality of reality through the type of sensory input they're receiving. That's why girls don't work out. You ever wonder why the vast majority of women don't work out? They're fortunate enough to be born with a nice looking body, and then it just wastes away. They don't work out. They could preserve their body a little bit by working out.
Well, you heard it here first from this sculpted Adonis who only films from above the nipples to hide lack of muscle definition. No woman has ever worked out, or at least not many of them.
But that's why. It's because it hurts. Working out hurts. And since women only interpret the world through sensory perception, anything that hurts is a bad thing. They can't handle it. They literally can't handle working out. That's how strongly this influences their mind. And just as when I was saying earlier, when a woman goes through too many negative experiences, she's not able to renew herself because women are not as connected to God. They're not able to refresh themselves psychologically. They're not able to detach themselves from the material world.
Yeah, you suck. You just fucking suck. Blows my mind that somebody like this not only exists, but also is delusional enough to post it online. Just literally put his face on this garbage. I can't imagine this is super helpful for him in his career if he has one, or if he's trying to make a career out of getting professionally banned on TikTok repeatedly.
So do pleasure experiences. If a woman has the best sex of her life with a guy, she will never be able to enjoy another man again.
Oh, so that's what happened here. The old 2-inch glory wand isn't getting the job done? The old skin flute ain't performing the way it used to? Now you just need to find something to blame? Okay. Now we're starting to put together the pieces of this jigsaw puzzle.
Even pleasurable experiences are too much for the woman to handle because they cannot refresh themselves. They can't see men in a new light. They can't appreciate different aspects of the man. All they see is whoever gives them the most dick, whoever gives them the most exciting experience.
I wonder if this guy actually believes that all women are just this wiener-hungry monster that's just constantly, like, foaming at the mouth for more cock to munch on. But it's never his wiener. You know, like, I can't imagine that he truly thinks that the only thing that matters to a woman is a penis. Like, how delusional. My God. I cut out a really long section where he just goes into divorce court, and to be fair, divorce court's pretty corrupt, like a lot of things. I don't think there's many people that would argue that divorce court is great, but he goes from that right back into, the only thing women care about is dick. Who gives them the most dick? They collect dick like Pokemon cards. My dick's good enough, goddammit!
Whoever takes her on the most expensive date, on the more expensive date, he's the one who's gonna take the cake. She will forever look at every other date after that with a sense of pity. You ever notice how girls who've been ran through or just more attractive girls tend to look at men with a sense of resentment or a sense of pity?
Bro, they look at you with a sense of resentment and pity because you are pathetic and creepy. Like, it's not... You make all of these massive generalizations. It's nutty. The things this guy says and the points that he makes are things that you would have read in Elliot Rodgers' manifesto. It's dangerous shit to actually fall into this pit where you think women are only here for men's pleasure and they only care about 3 things: dick, money, and height. I don't know if he even mentions height. I don't remember in the rest of the video, but he's already talked about how they only care about the biggest dick, the most dick, whoever has the most money.
Or they look at nice guys definitely with a sense of pity as well. It's almost like, oh, it's so cute. Look at him trying so hard. He thinks this is actually impressing me. Look at him trying so hard to impress me. Why is he trying? It's almost like they're confused. They're like, why is he trying so hard to impress me? What have I done to deserve such effort? Even they are not confused about the amount of value they provide. Even they understand that they are ruined. Even they understand that their value has gone out the window. It went out the window with the first 100 guys they slept with. And I do mean 100.
God, it's so fucking painful. Even women in their dumb, small brains understand that they're ruined because they didn't fuck me. Even they understand with their primitive understanding of God and sensory perception can understand they're not worth the effort of a nice guy. Ugh. It's so gross.
Therefore, women are naturally going to have more options. It just makes it seem like that. That's why women's egos are through the roof. That's why the moment they don't get this attention, they go fucking nuts. Because it's been that way their entire lives. Don't be fooled. Even they understand that their value is gone. That's why they don't like guys treating them with appreciation. That's why they don't like guys treasuring them. Because they know they're not treasures.
This guy's definitely undergone a transformation. He's digivolved from nice guy to fucking creepy cult leader weird man who don't like women no more.
They know they're not worthy of that treatment, but they're in such denial. Women are masters of self-denial. They don't deny themselves anything. They'll take anything they can get. Women say men will fuck anything, and then be the anything that gets fucked.
This guy's heart has been broken many times. It's like the Grinch with Christmas. Just can't stand it now, huh? He just really can't even tolerate a woman from the sound of it. And I have to wonder, how does this all tie into the title, Women Are Not Real? Everything he's saying here still confirms their existence. I understand it's supposed to be like a clickbaity title, but I mean at least like relatively connect the two in some way.
It's so funny because for all the resentment towards men that ran through women have, they sure do seem to have sex with them all the time. They'll still take anything they can get. It's not like they turn down men's advances. It's not like,
oh, so it must be pretty easy to get laid if women aren't allowed to say no. Apparently, no woman has ever turned down a man's advances. Because then he goes on to say that they just fuck anything that moves. So, wow. I mean, I guess it's pretty fucking easy. You just gotta take that first step. Like, hey, sex? And it should work out just fine.
they're able to make it seem like they're just victims and really the men are the perpetrators. Things are much more nuanced and complex than the vast majority of people will ever realize, much less admit to. But I don't want to ramble on for too long. I think I've spoken on this long enough.
He is right about one thing. He rambled on for way too fucking long. It was a chore to sit through this video. And to really add insult to injury, he uses an anime profile pic of Johann Liebert from Monster, which is a pretty good anime, and a pretty fitting profile pic for this guy, I think. Because he strikes me as a psychopath. Like, the shit he says is so disconnected from reality, while trying his best to convince himself that he's the only one living in reality. His big bombshell point he makes at the end, which I completely cut out because it's too stupid, was women have more options than men. They can have more sex than men when they want to. That was like his big gotcha at the end and treated it like it was some huge government secret. Such a fucking wild ride of a video. But yeah, anyway, that's about it. So yeah. Unsurprisingly, I'm often asked by people, Charlie, how do I become a sex god like you? Clearly they're taking these questions to me because I'm like the raw embodiment of sexual energy and lust. I've got the goddamn sexual infinity stone. I've mastered that shit. I'm the coitus king. So clearly they'd want to consult the expert for advice. Now for the first chapter in my TED Talk here, I'd like to show you what sexual attraction looks like, and nobody can show that better than this video I'm about to share with you, so let's dive right in.
Once again, it starts with that feeling in your body. It starts with that natural desire. It starts with feeling that coming back from her and feeling that kind of magnetic attraction.
Make sure you've got a pen and paper for some notes because he's going to be spitting some facts and giving you a really impressive demonstration on what sexual attraction looks like. He's able to capture it beautifully, like a wonderful masterpiece painting
That you might have for the other person. So there's no secret, there's no magic to it. The first thing you want to do, you just want to get closer. The more exciting it feels, the better. And the closer you get, the more those feelings start to spike. It's a natural human condition.
Expert seduction specialist will immediately recognize what's happening here. He is fucking her with his eyes right now. Her panties are soaking. It is getting to be to dangerous levels of horniness. It looks like he's about to challenge her to a fucking Yu-Gi-Oh duel. Now, so far, the lesson is off to a great start, and the information's solid. You can see the woman's already starting to fall in love with him as well. If I was to critique one thing about it up to this point, I'd say his posture showed that he was a bit shy. You know, he was kind of slouched a little bit, hand in his back pocket, kind of looking around, he seemed like he was giving off shy guy vibes. And then when he approached her, it didn't seem like a confident approach. What he needed was a fucking shoulders back, power stance, maybe some grunting as he approached her. You know, really give off Alpha Chad vibes. But other than that, I think he's off to a really great start with his lesson.
Now, when you're in a loud environment, such as a bar or a club, you've got an added bonus. You've got an added benefit, loud music. Anyone who says, oh, it's too loud in those places, they don't understand how attraction works. Because it gives you an easy excuse to get closer to someone.
I don't think anyone in that room understands how attraction works, if I'm being honest. But, you know, he's not wrong. You know, in a loud environment, you can sometimes get close if it seems like the closeness will be met with warm reception, as opposed to how she's reacting, which seems to be terrified, like actually petrified. I mean, just look at her. It doesn't look like she's having that much fun. It looks like she's regretting it, thinking to herself the paycheck wasn't worth the uncomfortableness of this seminar. Like, it looks like he's whispering bad news into her ear and she's reacting to it. Like, he's whispering that, you know, her fucking car just got stolen. So now she's starting to get upset about it.
If they can't hear you, that just means get closer. It doesn't mean yell. And as you get closer to someone, those natural feelings come out more. Once again, you've got this magnetic pull towards each other. You just want to get closer and closer.
That's exactly what I was thinking. These two are like magnets. They can't be separated. Like, they are one and the same right now. Their soul is about to merge into one. They're so in sync. She's clearly feeling the same thing. You know, she can't wait for him to get closer. You know, have a couple beard hairs tickling her cheek and her earlobes. Oh my goodness. He's doing a wonderful job of explaining how we should approach, but what he's failing to deliver is a script that we can follow. What do we say to the girl once we're close to her? Hey, you're gorgeous. You made me piss my pants. Like, maybe something like that? I'm not really sure. You know, this tutorial is only giving us half of the information right now. And I would like to know what kind of conversations we should be steering towards to really amplify the sexual attraction.
So that every single time you might get a little bit closer on a date or anything that's so funny, the overall distance just kind of closes a little bit more and a little bit more. And you don't have to do anything fancy, because when you're feeling this, every little touch carries that feeling much more strongly.
Oh yeah, this dude damn near electrocuted her with pure sexual electricity when they touched right there. Almost fucking like a taser of sexual lust. That was powerful. I think everyone in the room can feel this spiritual sexual pressure right now. God damn. He's been working this shit like dough, making a fine bread out of it. Woo! Wee! Woo! Woo! Damn! I tell you, Professor Panty Dropper really knows his stuff here. There's fucking fireworks going off in that room right now.
So if I lean in and our arms graze against each other, that's just going to have more electricity to it. That's going to feel as good as anything in the world could possibly feel.
Now, I do disagree with this statement. It feels better than anything in the world could possibly feel. That's spoken like a man that has clearly not dropped the 50 bomb in Valorant like I have. Not a big fan of Valorant anymore, but dropping that 50 bomb, euphoric. I don't think anything can come close to that. Yeah, sure, maybe accidentally grazing a woman's arm in a bar could feel better than an orgasm, well, you know, while you're going through this little sexual harassment tutorial. Yeah, you know what, maybe it feels real good, but not better than anything in the world. That's outlandish. That's absurd.
She's got her arms down at her side. And I lean in and our hands touch. Oh my goodness. And so if I lean in and our hands graze, not only will that send that electricity through our bodies, but I'm also going to get to gauge where she's at with this whole physical contact thing. If I lean in,
don't worry, my man, I can gauge where she's at with that whole physical contact thing from over here. I can tell you, she's real into it. You can tell she was giddy with excitement every time he got close. She was really feeling it. Yeah, she enjoyed it a lot, clearly. I think that's obvious. Hey, can you believe that this is only the demo, the beta, to the full thing? Fuck. By the end of it, they probably just full-blown fuck right there on the stage. The energy was incredible. Sexual tension. Ugh, wild. It was I think this pretty much sums up exactly what sexual attraction looks like. This is textbook sexual attraction. So, yeah, hopefully that answers the questions some of you have had for me about, hey, Charlie, what does sexual attraction look like? Well, now you know. So, yeah, that's about it. See ya. It's been a little while since I've told this story, so go ahead and hop on my lap here by the fireplace and I'll tell you a tale. As is common with most of my stories I've told on the channel, this takes place during the period of my life where I thought it was cool to be a mysterious anime character. This was like my early years of college. As you can probably imagine, my ability to socialize during this time was absolutely pathetic. Having a conversation with a magic 8-ball would have been more fun and engaging than talking to me back then. Those poor souls that talked to me back then probably instantly regretted it, because having a conversation with old Charlie was like talking to Alexa if she was overdosing on Xanax. It was rough. Why is this important though? Because this is setting the stage for one story I haven't told yet. I've told so many stories when it comes to all of the fucking weird and creepy interactions I've had with women. All my fault, of course, just because I was so unbelievably socially inept. Like, it's hard to put into words how bad I was at recognizing social cues and how to be, like, acceptable in society. I fucking bought one of those fake cigarettes one time. You know that shit that kids would buy from Spencer's when they were like 12? I bought one of those things when I was 18 because I thought it looked cool and I hated real cigarettes. You know how fucking sad that is? I'm surprised I didn't buy one of those colorful propeller hats and started spinning it to try and look cool or something. It was rough. So what I'm saying is, socially, I was the worst thing you could fucking imagine, but it didn't stop me from trying to have conversations with women. I tried to fake confidence, fake it to make it, and all of that shit, and today's story will be in that ballpark. So, this story takes place in a location where all good social interactions take place, at Gamestop. So let me take you back to the past when my social interactions sucked ass. This is Gamestop 2012, 2011, somewhere in that ballpark. I was, of course, virgin boy Charlie, if you can even believe that. Some say I lost my virginity before my dad, but the truth is, I was actually a virgin, embarrassingly enough. And I was doing what all virgins did, using Reddit for some advice. And Reddit is one of the worst places when it comes to seduction and just general advice when it comes to human interaction, because it's the blind leading the blind. The people giving that advice, they have likely never talked to a human being before. They're probably getting all of their social cues the same place I was. Fucking anime. So I was using anime and r/relationship or something, I don't remember what subreddit, and these two things were clashing, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take both of these, do like a little unholy fusion dance, and become this ultra Chad, the product of great advice and great animation. And I was going to channel this and show that, I'm becoming more confident in myself by flirting with girls in public. And I chose my first rodeo to be at Gamestop. Before going to Gamestop, I had decided that I was going to march into Gamestop, right up to the counter to the girl that worked there and call her beautiful right to her face. I was going to look her in the eyes. I was going to say, ma'am, you are fucking beautiful. You are gorgeous. I don't know what I expected to happen next because I didn't have a follow-up. Maybe I was fantasizing like one of those dream scenes where all of a sudden, like an anime, the girl blushes and then she calls out her 3 twin sisters or something, and they all fall in love with me. I don't know. But that was my game plan. And I was hyping myself up. I was like a football player in the locker room before the championship game, headbutting lockers. I put on a necklace, and I never wear a necklace. I found like this old gold necklace from probably when I was a kid, but my neck is still the same size as a kid's, so it still fit. I spiked my hair up real well, fucking drowned it in gel, and I mean drowned it in gel. I looked like a freshly born baby covered in amniotic fluid up there, and I felt like $1,000,000. Today was the day I was going to say to a girl, she is beautiful. So I hop into my Batmobile and I cruise on over to GameStop. I get to the door, I open it, and it's like everything else just melted around me. Time froze, and there she was, behind the desk, the only female employee at this particular GameStop, and she looked miserable. Probably because she's working at a fucking GameStop, but I was gonna make her day better by being the only man in GameStop history with the confidence to say that she was beautiful. I'm sure she doesn't hear that every day from other socially inept fucking slime balls, so I was going to be the first, the trendsetter. Truly a pioneer. So I meandered around a little bit, just making sure I was building up enough confidence, going over the lines in my head. The line I was going to use was when she was done ringing me up, I was going to say, "Thank you, beautiful," and then wait to see her response, see what she says to this, hoping that she wouldn't call the police or have security come tackle me. So, I finally pick out a game, some used game I'm sure, because I was big into used games for a long time. I slam that shit on the counter because I'm ready. She starts by asking me a couple questions. Am I a member of GameStop Power Plus Ultra program? Well, no, I'm not. She's going off script. I wasn't accounting for this. It's freeform now. The dialogue has been all fucked up. I'm getting a little jumbled in my head. I'm getting nervous. I wasn't expecting to be interrogated by her today. I'm not a member of this Gamestop program. Would I like to be? Well, shit, would it help my chances with you? I don't know. I'm going through all kinds of scenarios in my head. It's like a visual novel. There's a bunch of different branching paths I could choose from. I'm panicking. I'm breaking down a bit. My composure is starting to falter. There's sweat on my brow and a tickle in my sack. I was not prepared for this at all. She then asked me, do I want my receipt? Another question I wasn't anticipating. Do I say, thank you, beautiful, now? No, that wouldn't make sense because she asked me a question. I can't just respond with I have to answer the question. Everything's all falling apart at once. It's like Salvador Dali's painting where the clocks are melting. I'm running out of time. I don't know when to say this line. And no, I don't really want this receipt. What am I going to do? Wipe my ass with it? I paid $3 for some garbage used game. I tell her, no, thank you, you keep the receipt. And that's when she says it. A sentence that could dampen the pants of any man, even the strongest men. She says, thank you for shopping at GameStop. I freeze. I don't know how to respond. I stand there for what feels like hours, looking at the ground, wondering, is now the time? And then I decide I muster the courage within myself, the strength to go forward. I say, thank you, beautiful. I'm still looking at the ground when I say this, because I haven't earned the right to look my GameStop queen in the eyes yet. And then I do what any sane man would do. I ran away. I fucking jogged away. Before she could even, actually respond, I started jogging away with the bag in my hand like I just stole the game from GameStop. But I did hear her say, oh. I know for a fact she said, oh, as I turned my back to run away. I ran all the way to my car, hearing that oh in my head the entire way there, got in, slammed the door, and I thought to myself, Charlie, you did it. We just made that employee extremely uncomfortable, and man, do I feel like shit about it. It was a good lesson to learn. That was probably already the 5th or 6th time that lady had been hit on that day by fucking weirdos like me. She probably just up and quit that day. That was probably the last straw right there. I don't know, because I never went back. I was just so goddamn embarrassed about this whole thing, but I do imagine she quit that day. But yeah, I tell you this story in the hopes that people will learn from it. Don't make the same mistakes I did. Don't be a fucking weirdo, and don't, yeah, that's basically it, really. That's about it. See ya.